Hey guys, this video is going to be a little bit different than the other videos I made before. I'm gonna rant a bit about the situation happening or the nerf mania that's gonna occur next update. Pixonic decided to nerf 6 weapons at once. I'm talking about the shotguns, the Halo, Corona, Glory, along with Gust, Storm, and Thunder. If you didn't watch the dev stream 3 days ago, I'm gonna explain it for you in a nutshell. Basically, they explain why they need this nerf to keep the game balanced. But in the beginning of the stream, they said something really interesting there. They said, War Robot, the game, is not a chess game. In a chess game, there is figures and there is a fixed set of rules that does not change, so you don't need to update a chess game. But in War Robot have a lot of content, and in order to keep the game fun and balanced, quote unquote, you must update the game, constantly update the game. In other words, keep changing the stats, nerf, buff some elements inside the game. And I'm 100% with them on their side on this point. But the real problem here is not the nerf itself. The problem is that when you produce, let's say, a weapon, and after a long period of time, let's say 6 months, you decide to nerf this weapon, change the stats. After the free-to-play invest a lot of resources to obtain this weapon, and the pay-to-play invest their money to obtain this weapon, and all of a sudden, after this long period of time, you decided to change the stats of this weapon. That's the problem. For example, if you produce a weapon to the game, and after like a week, 10 days, let's say 1 month, you realize that there is a problem with the stats of this weapon, and you fix it immediately. That's not going to be a problem. For me, that's a good thing. This is a positive thing. You realize that you made a mistake and you fixed the problem. But after a long period of time, and during this period, you change the stats of this weapon, constantly buffing the weapon, then all of a sudden decided to change the stat and nerf it. That's the problem. That's why everyone is pissed about. You basically scammed the community, scammed the players of the game, made that weapon very interesting to obtain, and after they invest their resources, you change the stats. That is in my book, that's a scam. And actually, in some countries, some governments consider this as a scam, and it shouldn't be allowed. In the dev stream, they continue this guy, I don't know what's the name. I think it's T. Show us a diagram or a chart. In this chart, I'm gonna try to draw it for you guys. So this is the spawn numbers. The spawn numbers basically are the numbers of weapons that been spawned in matches. Weapons that players have decided to play with them in the match. And this one is the numbers of War Robot players that obtained a certain weapon. There is 4 zones in this diagram. The first zone is, we're gonna call it the dead zone. In this zone, weapons that are new and weapons that are not really interesting for the players to play with, they exist in this zone. The second one is the OP but not yet popular weapons. This one here is the most interesting, let's call it the danger zone. This is where the OP and popular weapon exist. This is where the problem weapons exist. And the last one, let's call it the garbage zone. This is where weapons that been OP and been nerfed beyond reasonable end up. Just like the shotguns after the update. He continues and gives us an example with shock trains. Shock train used to be this, when they been produced to the game, they've been in this place, going ups and downs, and they keep increasing. So they kept buffing the shock trains all the way to that they reach that zone, the danger zone. So Pixonic, what have the Pixon decided? They said that's not acceptable. Shock trains are now obtained by everyone. We're not making any money with them. We're not making a revenue, so we're gonna nerf them. After everyone obtained them by investing a lot of their gold, silver, time, everything, they decided to nerf them and send them down to the garbage zone. Then he continues to give us a second example with cryo weapons. The cryo weapons, at the beginning, they were like in this place and they going ups and down, increasing and decreasing. Then they went all the way up to this zone, the OP, not popular weapons zone. I would say this is natural for them to be, because everyone, when you obtain new weapon, you want to test it. So they went to this place. I would say it's natural thing. What happened is that the cryo weapon all of a sudden went down there again. Pixonic didn't like that. So what happened is they give the cryo weapons a buff, slight buff. You see this problem when they went down in these two zones. They don't like that. They're gonna keep buffing the weapons way until they get the danger zone. And when they get to danger zone, they will send them back to the garbage after they nerf them. You see, this is a problem. This is not the first time they're gonna do that. This is like a circle of life of the weapons in War Robot. Shotguns have the same cycle of life. They begin with this zone. They went up a little bit. They are very slow, and Pixonic have buffed them twice. And since they've been buffed, they are very strong. They get popular. Players want to obtain them, so they went all the way up there to the dangerous zone. So now Pixonic decided to change the stats and make them useless, almost useless. And what's gonna happen now after the update? The shotguns will be sent to the garbage zone. This is not the first time they do that. The nerf is not the problem. The core of the problem is that Pixonic keep doing that to weapons. When no one owns them, they keep buffing them. And when they get buffed, they get really interesting. Players get really interested in the weapons, so they obtain them after they buy them or rent for them 24/7. When that happened, Pixonic nerfed the weapons to make space and room for the new OP meta weapon. You get that? That's the core of the problem. You buff a weapon beyond reasonable. When everyone obtains them, you nerf them. That's the real problem there. Of course, the War Robot community is not happy about this update. They think that the shotgun nerfs is not the answer for the problem. And also they believe that shotguns are the real weapons that can face the Titans. So you can tell they are not really happy about this update. And those were my thoughts, guys. I could care less about the nerf of the shotguns. What's really annoying for me is that they keep doing this mistake. They keep giving us a certain robots or a weapon. Then after a long period of time, after we obtain them, they keep changing the stats, making them useless and less interesting. For me, that's the most annoying part. I wish they just stop doing that. They say they say it's a part of the rebalancing the game plan, but I don't believe that. I think this is just a lie. They are doing this because they want to make a space or a room for the cryo weapons to rise and fit in the game. They're gonna keep, by the way, they're gonna keep buffing the cryo weapons. They're gonna make them the new meta weapons, and they're gonna send them all the way to the dangerous zone. And when that happens, Pixonic will do it again. They're gonna nerf the cryo weapons to make them useless and send them down to the garbage zone. So those are my thoughts. Tell me your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like the update? Don't you like the update? I don't know. Just tell me your thoughts on the comments. I would like to read them all. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I see you next video.